Hello and welcome to BusyWorksBeats.com. I need you guys to smash that like button. Today we continue the melody series, but we're going to focus using Arturia's plugins. And I like Arturia's sound. It's very well done. The only issue I have is the CPU. So hopefully we could use these four instruments. These are my four favorite instruments from Arturia. The one is called Mini V, which is the Mini Moog. We have the Prophet 5V, which is the Prophet 5 from Dave Instruments. And then we have CS80. Or Dave Smith Instruments. Then we have the CS80 by, I want to say Yamaha. I forget who made the CS80. And then we have the Juno 6. I might be mixing this up too. They changed the name, but it's called the June 6, but I forget which one that models, because there's a 106 and there's a 60, so I forget which one. Anyhow, let's start with the CS80. This one has the most modern sounds, even though it's a retro synth. So let's start here. I'm just going to play some chords, like minor chords, suspended second chords. And as you guys may be seeing, the CPU went from 36 to 67. This is what makes Arturia's plugins almost impossible to use on a computer. And I have a really powerful PC. So I just want to warn you guys not to just dive in without that knowledge, because it's very hard for me to recommend it for that reason. They're very well done, but again, you're going to need a super powerful computer to really run these. Let's clone this over. Let's drop that third. Just make a basic chord here. So we're already, 60% of the way there off of one sound. It's not a good workflow to have to make MIDI, print audio, make MIDI, print audio. It kills the workflow. So again, my only critique about this is just CPU is like literally half impossible to work with. So let's right click, consolidate from track start. Okay, now we have that. What we'll do is we'll get rid of that plugin. So I'll show you guys how to safely get rid of a plugin, but keep your MIDI. Go to your channel rack, go to unsorted, right click, replace with delete or a sampler. That will just keep the MIDI, but it will lighten up the CPU. Okay, so now we dropped about 10 CPU off of that switch alone. Next, let's add a different instrument. Now again, this is killing the workflow, because let's say two more sounds down the line, I want to go back and add a CS80 sound. Now I have to reload CS80. It's just too junky and clunky, but the sounds are, fantastic. Okay, let's see what we can find in the Prophet 5 here. Those strings, let's add some strings in here. I didn't realize I was recording over itself. Let's do that again. Okay, so let's turn that down. That wasn't as heavy on the CPU. I think it's just the CS80 spikes up like crazy because it's so complex. Alright, so for example, what I'm saying here is now we can use the Prophet 5 again for a different sound, or just more layers without needing to render and all that type of stuff. Okay, so far so good. To keep this really, really basic, we're just going to take the root note and paste it into Mini Moog to save time. Let's hit control down. Now we have that Kanye type Moog sound. Let's turn some of these sounds down here. good layer. Again, maybe this is the CS80 plugin. I hate to start with the negative, but I don't want you guys to spend a bunch of money and then get frustrated because you can't even use this stuff. Let's hit Control L. Let's add some Juno sounds in here. This is more for like 80s The Weeknd type sounds. Sound was pretty unique. Very Travis Scott-esque sound. So now I think we just use the bass to perform a little bit more to create a different type of tone. Let's just do a different bass performance. Now we're just adding the vibe to the track. Now let's start adding some plugins here to really mix up the sound. Let's add some hyperchorus to this pad sound. Change one thing about this mini mode. We're going to change the contour of the filter so it's not as like bow bow. All right, so we could add one more layer for like texture. Okay, so again, the CPU is good. It was just, I guess the CS80 was the only plugin that was eating up a bunch of CPU. So again, it's hit or miss. Like I think I had an issue on my Mac with the augmented sounds with the CPU. My memory might be wrong on that though. So just keep in mind, you know, CPU could spike with these plugins, but so far so good. Let me see what else we even have from Arturia. Those are the main sounds I would use. People love the Mellotron too. So they have all the classic synth sounds that people like spend $10,000 for. just to get like a flute sound. Like the Mellotron, I never understood why people bought the real Mellotron. It's just, I never understood that. But here's a plugin. Let's add this in. And also too, if you guys are using, if you're just clicking in notes, you're not going to get the full like articulation of the Arturia stuff, because it has what's called aftertouch on certain notes. So the harder I press the velocity and I push down, it's called aftertouch, you get a different articulation of the sound. That was one of the key things about retro synths, was the aftertouch parameter. And that's what has that little wobble sound. You can't really get that by just drawing in notes. You have to, it's a special parameter, like a mod wheel. Switch up the bass just a little bit so it's not the same. So far so good. We're getting a Travis Scott sound with ease, because these are the actual synths these people use. Some of these synths they use. All right, so let's go in here. So again, now my rating has increased a little bit. I just want to keep warning you guys though. That CPU can drive you insane if it doesn't work out with the plugin. So just keep that in mind. I'm on a really powerful laptop, so that's why it's kind of smoothly transitioning here. Let's create a new bass line. Okay, now to add like that overlaying texture and then we'll kind of wrap this idea. I don't want to go too far down the thing because we'll end up making an entire beat. It might take 2 hours. So now we just need those sound effects. I'll show you guys how to quickly get those sound effects using some effects. So let's add it over top of this effect. We're going to add transporter, delay. And then we're going to add delay and then reverb to make it a long tail sound. To save time, I'm just going to render that as audio, that way it's different, and then we can turn off the effects. Alright, now we got that. Boom, cut that. Okay, so now we can go back to the actual MIDI, and then we can turn off the effects so that's not messing. Let's do one last thing here, one final thing. Let's group all of the MIDI, hit Control G. It's kind of tricky to do this with audio, so firstly I'm going to mute the audio because that has to be transposed differently. We're going to go to pattern 3 now on the left side, the pattern picker. We're going to go to where it says transpose. Now we started in the key of D, so let's say I wanted to try E minor. I would need to go up 2 notes or 3 notes for F, and then we'll try 3 notes down to 1, 2, 3, or 4 notes down to A. Anyhow, let's transpose down first, and then we'll transpose up. So negative values go down, positive values go up. Alright, so that sounded cool to me. That sounded pretty good. Let's go +1. So now we're -3 semitones from the original. That one I felt the most, okay, but it wasn't like the tone I was going for. So now let's do plus, where we at? -3 semitones. Let's go +3. So let's do 6 semitones up. So it's +3 now. That one just doesn't resonate with me. Let's do, where's +3 from here? Let me see. Okay, so this is the MIDI. 1, 2, 3. So now we're at F. Let's go down 1 semitone and then let's pull it back to the original. kind of like the original tone at the note D. So let's pull everything down 2 semitones, and then we'll open that audio back up. So let's turn this back on. So it turns out the original key and scale were the best fit. So that I will up my ranking. So again, at first that CS80 was just driving me insane with that CPU. So maybe it's just selective plugins. I thought it was most all of the Arturia stuff, but maybe it's just the CS80 guaranteed to up your CPU. But outside of that, I think we've twisted our perception of Arturia now. I will say these plugins are good. Again, I just got to issue a warning. You probably need a good computer to run these, because I'm already at 30 CPU consistently with 1, 2, 3, 4 of the plugins, which is pretty good actually, but letting you guys know the reality of it. All right, if you want to learn how to make melodies, go to busyworksbeats.com/premium. See you guys on the other side. Subscribe for new. Peace.